It's your boy John, the Liquidator, coming back with another video. So it looked like Skip Bayless is setting the record straight, revealing some information about this Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson battle that is taking place in the city we all love to report on. Guys, for this one here, we got to go all the way up to Cleveland. Let's get it. Let's go. Now, we know Shedeur Sanders is currently dealing with a battle with Deshaun Watson. Different scenarios is being played out. Different information is being reported on. And it's so much stuff that you got to decipher from to understand what's real and what's fake. So over here, we just been trying to focus on the actual news that has been coming out about this battle. And Skip Bayless is somebody that is very plugged in, a veteran within the media space. And he's telling it like it is. He definitely spoke about the situation on the arena today. Now, Shedeur Sanders footage did come out on the OTAs. We did post it here on the channel. So if you guys want to have an exclusive look at how Shedeur looks compared to Deshaun Watson, I highly recommend you guys go check out that video, because the film ain't gonna never lie to you, bro. People can say what they want, but the footage ain't gonna never lie. One of the biggest talks amongst the city is what's going to happen come training camp, because Todd Monken made it his business to announce who he believes is going to be the quarterback of the 2026 season. With all that being said, let's head on over to the arena. Let's check out Skip Bayless.
Because ESPN Peter Schroeder spoke about how he believes Deshaun Watson's job, it's his job to lose, that he's going to be the starting quarterback. So Todd Monken, he also spoke this week about both Deshaun and Shedeur, and so he said both these things. I think it's really cool that he still has an opportunity with a chance to showcase his ability and see where he's at. I'm all for it. I think Shedeur's come miles in terms of progression, getting the ball out, and his outstanding concepts. I think he's really come a long way. But the way that was worded, I really did feel like it was also Deshaun's job to lose, and Shedeur is going to be backing him up. But Skip, do you expect Deshaun to start for the Browns?
I've been trying to tell you guys this for a month, because the handwriting has been on the coach's office wall and on especially the owner's office wall for at least a month. It's going to be Deshaun Watson's job to lose. Now, we've had report after report, and Peter Schrager is legit.
Yeah,
He's plugged in.
he is.
NFL Network, now ESPN, said this on Get Up. And they're just going to give Deshaun Watson every chance to win the job, keep the job, and then lose the job. And Peter Schrager says the owner wants him to play mainly because he's going to make $46 million, and the owner's pride is on the line for that. And then we look at Todd Monken. He's 60 years old. He just got his first NFL head coaching job. And he's going to reach back and go with tried and true in Deshaun Watson. And I think that's going to be a big mistake, because tried and true was a long time ago. And Deshaun Watson has not played a game of football for almost 2 years. Even worse, over the last 5 seasons, Deshaun Watson has managed to play only 19 of a possible 85 games. 19 of 85. So he's played over the last 5 years 22% of the possible starts. He tore his ACL, he had throwing shoulder surgery, and he has torn the same Achilles twice now. And his last good year that I can find, I have to go back to 2020 at Houston, when he did lead the league in passing yards. He was 33 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, 70% completions, all for a team that somehow went 4-12. That was his last good year. And so now we see these quotes from Todd Monken that Kinsey read. And the first one about Shedeur, he's come miles. And I'm like, he's come miles? That is classic damning with faint praise, as if he needed to come miles and miles, which indicates that last year when he did start and go 3-4 as the starting quarterback behind the worst line in the NFL, throwing to the worst receiving core in the NFL, that he was terrible last year. He needed to come miles and miles. And then he raved, did Todd Monken, about Deshaun saying that his athleticism is showing up in the OTAs, that it's a weapon for him. It's one of his superpowers is his athleticism. And I'm like, one of his superpowers? So he's got lots of superpowers, one of which is athleticism.
At least two.
Yeah, he's got at least two. So in the end, Deshaun will be the game one starter. And yet, I think we're going to have to rinse and repeat last year, because I think they'll fall to 2-8, and maybe at 2-8 or 2-9, Shedeur will get another shot and get to finish the season. And I still think he's the future in Cleveland, but they are going to give Deshaun every chance to show he can be a blast from the distant past.
If Peter Schrager reported it, then I believe it.
Okay.
Simple as that, man. That's how legit he is, in my opinion. So, hey, it's probably beyond Monken. You know what I'm saying? He gonna report and answer the questions and just play his role. You a first-time head coach. You new here. Hey, if we tell you this guy gonna be the starter, then that's what you gonna do. As simple as that, man. Shedeur just caught up in the business once again. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. If you go off how they look in pajamas, then the veteran probably is gonna look better. He probably is gonna make quicker decisions in pajamas. He probably is gonna be more accurate in pajamas. You know what I'm saying? He probably is gonna get a good grasp of the offense better, quicker in pajamas. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what veterans do. You know what I'm saying? They know the terminology. They've been around the block a few more times. So they probably gonna pick it up a little bit faster. So it is what it is. That's just what veterans do. But if it was me, I'd for sure go with the guy who gonna rally the guys. Like, you see, whatever their record was when Shedeur came in last year, you seen a team that was rallied.
Agreed.
They off the bench, they watching. That's all I need to see as an owner, as a coach. Who's gonna rally these troops? Who's gonna get the morale? I always talk about that morale. How we feeling in the building? That's our temperature in the building, is that morale. Who's gonna get that up? That's the guy who I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with the guy if either one of these guys went out and played their ass off, which one of them would I want to be the face of my franchise? That's the guy I'm gonna go with. And to me, that's Shedeur. That's who you want, bro. He no off the field, nothing. He ain't did nothing but this. That's the only thing you could say he did was put a Patek Philippe in the air. You know what I'm saying? That's it. He don't do nothing else.
Yeah.
He referenced God all the time. He's positive with the media, smile on his face. He show up to talk to the media no matter what. They shitting on him, third quarterback, he's still there with a smile on. That's the guy who I want to be the face of my franchise. So, hey, man, Cleveland got a way of doing things, man. And, you know, Skip say 2-8. I don't know if it's going to last that long. I say 2-4, then he probably get a shot. You know what I'm saying? And when he do get his shot, you're going to see the morale up. You're going to see the same thing happen, because it don't change, man. Guys who got that superpower, they got that. That's his superpower. He raised the play of the rest of his team. He raised the morale of the locker room for the rest of his team. And he been doing it since damn Pop Warner.
Yeah.
He been doing it since 8U. Did it in high school, did it in college, did it at this college, did it at this college. That's what they do, man. So, hey, Cleveland gonna do what they do. I don't even think it's Monken. I think it's coming from all the way upstairs.
Yeah.
Here's what it is. You getting paid like the starter, you got to start off as the starter.
Yeah, and nobody knows Cleveland better than this man to my left, right?
And that's what I've been trying to tell you guys. This whole Cleveland Browns situation is purely coming from the HASLAMs, bro. This has nothing to do with Todd Monken. As much as he wants to name Shedeur being a quarterback, his job is also on the line, because he got to do what his boss tells him to do, and that is play Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
You've been there and done all that.
Been there, done that.
Yep.
It was a while ago, but there's still a lot of the same leadership at the top.
Yep.
But I'm not as convinced. I still think this quarterback competition is wide open, or at least it still should be. You know, if I'm Todd Monken, there's still a lot of things I want to see during this evaluation process before I make my decision. You know, they're in OTAs right now. You're going to install the entire offense. But once OTA's in, you get about a month and a half off before you go to fall camp. I want to see who's going to master this offense during that break and who's going to come back and be further along while they're running this offense. Also, I think preseason is going to play a big factor in this. How is each guy going to lead and prepare for a glorified game week? Also, how are you going to execute the offense against a different opponent rather than in a controlled environment going up at practice? That plays a big part in all this. Now, with that being said, Deshaun Watson is a very talented football player. And you mentioned it, Skip. At one point in time, he was considered one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, or at least was trending in that direction. His final year in Houston was 2020, where he threw for 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And the reason they went 4-12, Skip, is because their run game was ranked 31st and their defense was giving up 29 points per game. It was not on.
I still thought they were better than 4-12.
It had nothing to do with the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you're throwing for 3,800, which led the NFL. You throw 33 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions, and your run game is 31st. Your defense is giving up 29 points per game. It's tough to go into a game knowing I got to score at least 30 to win.
Man.